Welcome back, everybody. It's a deep guidance video series. So today I'm gonna tell you a story. Well, I think it's about 2 years ago now. I had this wonderful woman here on retreat, and she asked me an amazing question. She said, "Greg, if there were 3 insights that I could get that would change my life completely, what would they be?" I thought, wow, what a great question. So I went really quiet and just had faith that my divinity, that my wisdom would flow up something for her. It took felt like a long 15 seconds. And this is what I said to her, brothers and sisters. If you could wake up tomorrow morning and you sit up in your bed and you say out loud to yourself, "Today is the day that I am going to let an insight, a sight from within, flow up inside of me that tells me that all of my thoughts are an illusion, that I am going to hear that as deeply as possible and it's going to penetrate me at an insight level, right? As opposed to intellectually." If you got just a fractional insight around that, brothers and sisters, I promise you something, your life will never ever be the same. I mean, that is really, I think if there was an ultimate insight to get, that would be in the top 3. So let me give you a little bit of a way to almost logically figure that out. It's kind of an interesting way to look at it. And I'm always going on about you want to get past the informational level of words and listen for a feeling. But here's something that is interesting, because your whole life, from the moment you were born, is complete evidence of that. You've probably had 1,000 moments or more in your life where an event happened and then you experienced it a certain way, and then a couple hours later or a day later you experienced that event in a completely different way, with a completely different set of feelings. You had a different reality about it. That dynamic, brothers and sisters, is evidence that all our thoughts are an illusion. We've all heard since we were born that we create our own reality, right? We create our own reality from our thinking. The Divine Trinity, little bugs are coming at me. Our Divine Trinity is thought, feeling, behavior. So when a neutral event happens in front of us, we have some thoughts about it, then that creates how we experience it. So we can have multiple realities about the same event. Now here's the logic, guys. If we can have multiple realities about the same event, which one is true? Could it possibly be that none of them are and all of them are? And is that the same way of saying that they're all illusions? So if our reality could be an illusion, if we create our own reality, then that would mean our thinking is an illusion. That might help you understand that principle a little deeper. About 9 years ago, one of my teachers said something to me. Let me say this first. In my life, and I'm sure in your lives, that we all have this moment of what I call crossroads, is that we cross over to a deeper understanding about life. We cross over to a deeper understanding about spiritual principles that we've been hearing over and over and over again, but suddenly we just get it at a really deep level, right? The aha moment. Well, this was the aha moment for me. I don't remember what I asked one of my teachers, but this was his response, and it just pierced me like a beautiful diamond bullet. He said, "Greg, I don't care what the content of my thinking is anymore." Let me say that one more time, guys. I don't care what the content of my thinking is anymore. That's the goal I'm certainly shooting for. And that's the goal I want to encourage you guys. Don't let your thinking rule your life. Know that you can just ignore it. You don't have to take it seriously. I'm going to be doing a teleseminar very soon with a woman. Her name is Gabriella. She's been doing this work for a long time, especially in the inner cities. She calls it little bubbles in our head. You can just let them float off. You know, a negative thought never hurt anybody. You just don't need to give it energy and thus create it as behavior. So a beautiful way of looking at it is that our feelings are the physical manifestation of our thinking. We don't have to take our thoughts, flow consciousness into them, and then they result in behavior. We could just let them go. That's really the big secret in life, guys. And you're looking for a deeper understanding about that. And maybe you'll hear it today. We're all going to have low mood thoughts, brothers and sisters. It's just part of life. It makes no difference how enlightened you are. But the small difference between some people and other people is that some people don't take those low mood thoughts as seriously as other people do. You could just ignore them. So this is a short, deep guidance video on this beautiful sort of cloudy day here in the Magic Kingdom. I hope it's helpful. Every once in a while, for me, the door kind of opens up a little bit, and I look at life and I think, my God, I could experience life any way I want. Any moment that is happening in my life, I could experience any way I want. I don't have to, I am not a prisoner of life happening to me. Oh, I don't think I've ever said that to me. I'm not a prisoner of life happening to me. Meaning is that things bad, what are perceived to be bad, negative stuff is going to happen in your life. Life keeps coming at you, and it feels like it. We're almost like a prisoner of it. We can't, but we aren't. We're free to experience what's coming at us any way we want. We've all had these moments, guys, where we experienced an event in our life, and it really just floored us. And then a day later, a month later, a year later, we saw how we grew stronger from that experience. We saw that experience differently. We saw what that person did differently. We saw it with compassion. We're having multiple realities about the same events. So thus, it's all an illusion. As the great mystics and sages say, the divine illusion, the ultimate insight. And it's my deepest prayer and hope for all of you brothers and sisters that you're blessed with even a little bit of that insight. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. And good journey, everybody. Aho! Aho!